On everybody, welcome to Instant Replay. This is your man, Big B, Brian Hanley, along with my guy, CC, Chris Claiborne. What is going on, Chris?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I am doing all right. You know, it is an epidemic going on around here. Instant Replay, it's trying to become a hit, Chris. It's
Well,
trying to become a hit. People are trying to watch. They're trying to follow us, and I appreciate everybody.
yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't, right? What else are you doing on a Tuesday night,
Yeah.
right?
Tuesday night, have a little fun,
Mm-hmm.
laugh, disagree with you. I think the whole thing is absolutely incredible. Again, want to remind everybody again, please subscribe to Big B Sports Talk on YouTube. Like, comment. It helps us out with the algorithm. We appreciate it. Tell a friend about it. More importantly, have some fun. So let's get into this. Chris, Super Bowl didn't disappoint. I think it was one of the better Super Bowls that we've seen. In my opinion, it's probably top 5, top 7 Super Bowls that I've witnessed. I thought it, I mean, obviously it came right down to the very end. Chiefs pulled it out 25-22. I predicted, 27-24 Chiefs win. So I wasn't that far off. But first off, let's get your first thoughts on what happened, what took place.
Yeah, you nailed it. Fantastic game, one of the better ones I've ever seen. And I had it wrong. I had the little Bang Bang Niner gang winning that thing, and it wasn't. After the first quarter, it didn't look like a possibility. They
Right.
didn't stick, in my opinion, with the game plan, but that's a Shanahan special, and
Whew.
I should have known that. So I think the air got tight, and he couldn't breathe there right after halftime. But
Now
I
let's
was
just call it what
surprised.
it is. His butthole got tight. That's what happened.
It
Butthole got
is.
tight
It
and got
is.
away from the game plan. Pathetic. Pathetic.
And even though he was still up in the score, I think that momentum is not a scoreboard thing; it's a feeling, and I
Thank you.
think that feeling went away because they were dominating the first couple drives, one in and then a turnover. But when it was 125 yards for the Niners to 19 for the Chiefs or whatever it was domination, and I think
Yep.
everybody can coach from on top.
Yep.
Once that momentum swung, and Patty Boom Batty got it figured out and got it cooking. His booty hole got tight, and
Yep.
going away from that game plan, which I think should have been a best running back in the game this year and best offensive lineman in the game. Some people out there disagree. I think he went away from it.
He absolutely did. Here's my thing. It's a Super Bowl. What are you holding him for? What are you
Right.
waiting for? Everybody says, well, he had 30 touches. McCaffrey, who we're talking about, by the way, had 30
Yeah.
touches in the game. Well, my whole thing with that is, well, it should have been 50 if you're
Right.
trying to win the Super Bowl. What are you
Right.
waiting for? They went away from him, Chris, basically from the end of the first quarter till about, I don't know, the middle of the third quarter, closer to the end of the third quarter. Just keep running the
Right.
football, man. What are you doing?
How many touches is too many for the most dangerous guy on the field?
Thank you. Not to mention how many touches is too many when you're trying to win the last game of the season.
Right.
Use him
Absolutely.
up. If he gets 50 touches, then he gets 50 touches.
Right.
If you win, who cares?
Right.
Who cares?
No, no one remembers. Absolutely. But everybody's going to remember that you keep getting to the dance and not showing up, right?
Oh, and not only that, you keep getting to the dance, keep getting a big lead, and you cannot hold it. I mean, how many times are we going to see that with this guy?
Yeah.
It's just over and over and over again. Now, look, I get the first time he wasn't the head coach, but he was
Right.
damn sure the offensive coordinator responsible for calling plays in that debacle of Atlanta giving up a 28-3 lead. That was
Right.
his fault. He could have
Right.
run the ball the entire second half, 3 and outs, and they would have won the football game. He doesn't
The
do it, and they get beat.
the
But
very definition of booty holes getting tight was that
oh
game,
my
right?
God. And
You know.
we should have known from the very beginning that's what this guy is. We should have known, Chris, that
Well,
that's what this guy is.
and let's talk about what things you prevent by running the ball, right? We all know that you put the ball in the hands of your best player on the field, the best offensive threat. But more importantly, you keep the ball away from Patty Mahomes. You start eating up that clock, just like when that Atlanta game you're talking about. Why am I giving the ball back to the best guy on the field that much? And
I
that was
didn't.
insane. That
It,
game, that game lasted 20 minutes longer than it should have because I would have just, I mean, I could have taken a knee 3 times and punted and used up a
yeah.
lot more clock than that.
Oh, it's just absolutely incredible. Not to mention, now look, I gave Brock Purdy all the credit, and Brock Purdy didn't play bad in the game. I actually thought he played
No.
good.
Yeah.
But third down, 3 for 12, Chris. You're 3 for 12
Okay.
on third down.
What situation are you putting them in, right? Those weren't all third downs are not created equal, right?
Okay. 3 for 12. I don't care what situation is it. That's not good.
I'm
We
sorry.
can't make
Even
excuses for it.
even with a couple of bad results, McCaffrey was averaging 4 a pop. So, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry. 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2.
Yeah.
I bet Purdy was converting, but it wasn't 3rd and 2. It wasn't. So, I don't know how many of those he was put in the right situation for.
Well, I mean, I get it. I don't think Purdy, like I said, this is not Purdy's fault. I thought Purdy played fine. I thought he played fine. I don't think he made the plays to win,
Right.
but at the same time, the game plan kind of took that away. I
He
think the
didn't make the
game
plays to
plan took
lose.
away. He didn't
He
make
didn't
the
lose
plays
the
to
game.
lose either. No, he did not.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
absolutely didn't
Yeah.
because he didn't give the ball away.
You got Buddy in the comments saying the Niner players didn't know the overtime rules. I keep hearing everybody saying that like it matters. Like it
Yeah, it
doesn't
kind of
matter. It
matters.
wouldn't. No, it
Yeah, it
didn't.
kind of matters.
Since when would the rules have changed whether or not you want to stop somebody trying to score a touchdown?
But it matters because if they didn't know, then the coach damn sure didn't know. That's my point.
Ah,
If the players
okay,
don't know, which
okay,
means he didn't go over it with the players, now he's trying to come out. I saw this report earlier on ESPN. Oh, we went over it. So your players are lying? So
right.
which is it, Kyle? Just admit it. You didn't know, so your players didn't know. And so now, then that's what it came down to. He tried to come out and say, well, we had a plan of what we were trying to do. Really, that plan included taking the ball first and giving an opportunity to the best quarterback in the world
Right.
4 downs to beat you. That's what the plan was? Give me a
That
break, man.
yeah,
I don't want to hear it.
yeah, that's unfortunate. We got some people saying devil's advocate, the Chiefs were expecting the run and stacking the box. I'm going to say, yeah, they were, but the Niners knew that. We all knew that the Niners run game was going to be the key to the game. So that didn't change. So
No, no.
yes, I do think, to April's point over there, the Achilles injury. I mean, that's second, third best player on the Niner defense going down, running onto the field was crazy. But I don't like to play the if this guy plays and if he doesn't. There's some things that were completely in your control.
Well, the one thing that I know for a fact is that Dre Greenlaw going down absolutely hurt them, but that
Yeah,
had zero to do with Kyle Shanahan running the football. Absolutely nothing. Had zero to do with it. Not to mention, he got hurt, I think, the second or third drive of the game. The 49ers
right.
hadn't scored a point yet. The score was
Yeah,
still 0-0. So
no,
they still got up 10 points without him. I
right.
mean, so let's, him getting hurt, it changed some of the stuff that they were trying to do. But the last time I checked, Pacheco didn't do anything on the ground. So they
No,
weren't, it's not like the Chiefs were just running the
right,
football all over the place. Heck, you could also say the left guard, Algrady, I think that's how you pronounce it for the Chiefs. He tore his UCL ligament in his elbow in the
mhm,
second quarter. So
right.
he's not even able to block people. He's out there playing with one arm. So,
So you
we could do
you
that
got me
too.
thinking. You got me thinking about when maybe the booty holes tightened up. When did Debo go down with that injury?
Oh, I can't remember exactly when, but
But
he wasn't hurt either because he came back and he was playing.
yeah, but that changes the atmosphere. I mean that may be the tipping point for a coach who's already the windpipe's getting tight, getting ready to choke, and then Debo goes down with what we thought was a hammy, right? And
No,
I don't remember what it
I
was. We
don't.
thought it was.
I mean, it was a hammy, but I just don't buy it. First of all, if
I
it's a hammy that bad, I think a lot of people have had a hamstring injury. You ain't coming back.
no, but I'm
If it's
saying,
hurt, you're not coming back.
did that change Mr. Shanahan's plans? And then he never could recover from that. We've all been shell
I
shocked,
don't
been
think
stunned
so because
before.
Debo had 10 targets in the game. So, I mean, it's not like he just didn't go back to him. He had 10
Yeah,
targets in the football game, including a deep shot. So, it's not
true.
like
You're
he
right.
didn't try to give him the football. The Chiefs just said, no, you're not going to beat us with Debo Samuel. You're going to go with somebody else. And they were doing it. I mean,
Right.
Jennings hadn't done a ton all year, and he was
No,
killing them,
no, they
but
they took Ayuk out of the game for the most part too. So they did make him beat him with somebody that they didn't see coming. Right.
and we can also stop the comparisons to George Kittle to Travis Kelsey. George Kittle, 2 catches, 4 yards.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Enough with the compare. He's a
Yes.
way better blocker than Travis Kelsey could ever dream about being. That goes without saying. But as far as just complete tight end or catching the pack, come on. 2 catches, 4 yards. Don't want to hear it. Don't want
Okay.
to hear it.
All right.
So
You're not going to hear that from me. You're going to hear me say, I got it wrong. Not often you hear people just say, I got it wrong. The Chiefs are a better ball club than they showed most of the end of the year, into the postseason,
right.
and they got it done. So,
Yeah, I get that. I understand. But the more important thing about this
okay.
whole conversation
Tell me
is
about it.
I was right and you were wrong. I
No.
think that is the
Yeah.
most important. I think that's what people in the chat kind of want to talk about is how I
No,
was right.
absolutely.
I picked the game correctly, like I
Sure.
usually do,
Sure, sure.
and you picked the game wrong, like you usually do. I mean, I think that after saying all of that,
Okay.
it just comes down to Brian was right, Chris he was wrong.
I'm a firm believer that everybody in the world is 50-50, right? So let's move to the next topic, and let's
Evening,
see
Chris.
let's see if CC was correct on the second topic. And maybe I'm going to make a comeback here.
Okay. So, second topic here we're talking about today, people, is the halftime show.
Right?
Again, I thought the halftime show was great. Now, again, we've got all the people that are 25 and under. Oh, it was the greatest show ever. And I'm like, first of
Right.
all, pump the brakes. Okay, stop it. All right. And again, Michael Jackson halftime show doesn't count. It's not qualified. Nobody's qualified to be that good. A man can stand on stage for 20 minutes without even moving, and the whole
Right.
world,
Right.
200 people are screaming. That doesn't count. So enough with this is the greatest show ever. But
You
having
got
said
Asher.
that,
You got Asher over here saying Usher killed it. You
well, he
know.
did. I mean, he
No.
did. It was a great
No.
show. It was an
Okay.
absolutely great show. But you can say it was a great show without saying it was the greatest of all time because
Right.
it was not.
Okay, Buddy's over there saying Usher needs to keep his hands off his wife, and that's what Swiss B should have said. So that, let me tell you, that was the only good thing that came out of halftime for was a little spice there. Okay, the Alicia Keys fondle, but I thought it was average. I said he didn't have enough hits. He literally brought out a ton of people, and I still thought it was an average halftime. So maybe it was me.
It
Maybe
was
I
you.
was maybe I wasn't enough of a prisoner of the moment. But
It was
anytime you
you.
could bring out Little John, Alicia Keys, her, and I thought her killed it on the guitar. I mean, that's what she does. And I was like, other than a guy in a figure skating outfit, roller skating half the time, that's a lot of
I
skating.
mean,
But
here's
you
the
know,
thing. It's first of all, let's attack this Swiss beat thing, Chris. Let's attack
right?
that.
Okay,
I don't
S-
care what you're doing. You cannot be all hugged up, squeezing,
okay,
scrooching, whatever you want to call it, on my
right.
wife for 150 million people to be watching. You just that's not acceptable.
Well,
And he came
first of
out and
all,
said, I'm okay with it. It was just a performance. And my
first
thing
of
with
all,
that is, yeah.
yeah,
Also,
yeah,
Big B's been known to put on a good performance in a hotel room himself. You know what I'm saying?
right, right.
So that's all. That's all a performance is. So what are we talking about here, dude? Let it
I,
go. No, be
we got a
mad. It's
couple.
okay.
We got a couple guys I got to address. First of all, somebody said it was the second best halftime show ever, and then somebody said compare it to Prince. I'm going to answer both of
Oh
those
my
two right
God,
now by saying, see
Jesus.
if you can block both of them in the chat. That's
Yeah, yeah.
absurd.
It's not the
But
second best of
yeah,
all time, and don't be bringing Usher's name up with Prince. So
yeah.
let's stop it.
But
Stop
now
right now.
But now let's get back to the two people paid to perform on a song called My Boo, trying to make it a little spicy. I mean, it gave us the right amount of controversy. There was no exposed nipples or anything like that. It
No,
looked spicier than it was. Go back and watch it again and see if you'd be so worked up. Because I tell you what, fondling my wife on stage, but then when you're dressed as a figure skater in sequence and you keep doing these little quick pop locks and everything is sus. I felt more secure with his lack of manliness. So I mean,
right?
I was okay. I was perfectly okay with it. It
I
was
don't
not.
know.
It was non-threatening. You know.
So here's I like this take. No nipples, no problems. I don't know that that's the standard, Chris, that a
Right.
married woman should have performing live on stage. If no nipples are showing, then that means it's okay. So everything else is okay. Is that what we're doing here?
I think that Swiss Beats, you could make it a controversy by saying, yeah, that was super spicy, and Usher needs to keep his hands off my wife. Or you can make it a non-issue by saying, I have no comment. It was entertainment. They were both. He had first of all, there was 7 layers of fabric between them. They both had sequins, and he
Was
had
there
seven.
7 layers?
Yeah, because that glove was thick. He looked like hamburger helper out there, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about that damn glove, and I want somebody to talk about it. I thought he blew that thing up. I thought that was crazy when you look at that glove. Okay,
The
sorry.
bottom, I just, again, I thought the performance was great. Again, let's not get crazy and talk about how
That's fine.
it's top three, top four.
Okay,
No,
my
it was
bad.
just a great performance. But
Right.
the spiciness, I mean,
Okay.
don't get me wrong, I'm for it. I'm
Okay.
100% for it. I don't have a problem with it because, again, that's not my wife. So as
Right.
long as it's not my wife, I don't have any problems with it. But if you
Okay.
get booed up with my wife on stage in front of 150 million people, expect me to Will Smith and Chris Rock you. Just expect that. Expect it, and don't be mad about it because you know it's coming.
Yeah. No, I get it, but I mean, quiet is kept. Alicia Keys at sometimes has kind of been like my wife, you know. So I did feel a little bit of pressure at the time,
Ah,
I got it,
okay, I
you know.
got you. Oh,
So,
here's a something. April
okay.
H. Or the dancer that flew off the pole. So you didn't see that, did you?
Yeah,
Not
I
enough
did.
people are talking about it, Chris. Not enough people.
Hey, and you
Fell
know
right
what?
off the pole. They never showed her again. Did
You
she
know
break
what?
her neck? Did she crack
Right?
her head open? Did she get
No,
back on the pole? Not enough comments going
she
on about that.
I have seen an extended cut. She did not get back on the pole. She did pop up quick though. So durability. Let's score a
Eh,
9.95 on durability. Wig got a
yeah,
wig got a little displaced, but she popped up. But you know
but
what? Half of America's going to say that's what happens when you have stripper poles at the Super Bowl. Let's keep it classy, folks. We didn't have that. You don't have upside down twerking. You don't have people falling on their head.
well, let's not go too far. The upside down twerking I can go for. I'm for it. I'm picking up
Yeah,
what they were putting down. The problem is she fell off the pole. And again, I mean, she got up quick, but we've seen guys have been concussed. They pop right up. Now they
yeah,
stagger
absolutely,
off just
absolutely.
like a boxer. They get up immediately, and then they
Yeah,
get that stanky leg, wobbling around. So
no,
we've
she
seen
did.
that plenty of times.
She wasn't good for the next set, wardrobe change, or any of the choreography.
Yeah, she
But
had to go
you
sit
know
down.
what? She went and got her check and an ice bag. So she went to the blue tent.
Yeah, she went to the blue tent, got
Yeah,
figured out. I like it though. I
yeah,
like it. And then the
absolutely.
whole now here's the one, Jermaine Dupri.
Right.
I don't understand what he was trying to pull off, Chris. I don't get the
I,
outfit on what he was doing. I'm gonna leave that to you because I just don't understand what fashion sense that was.
okay. First of all, I got to address. I believe it's Milford there talking about J Lo was on the poll too. He needs to keep my wife's name out of his mouth. Don't ever talk about J Lo. When J Lo's on the poll, it's classy. Okay. Uh, you know. But no, the Jermaine Dupri gender reveal, you know, uh, Easter Sunday. I don't know what the hell that was about. So yeah, I see you, Milford. Don't put that comment up on the screen. Uh, you know, I don't know what that was. I actually thought for a second when I just glanced at it, it was CeeLo. You remember when CeeLo used to do all that kind of crazy stuff, and Jermaine Dupri's he's picked
Yeah,
up 20, 25 pounds.
he
I
looked
don't
like
know
it.
what I don't know what in the Easter Sunday on the way to the candy store, can I buy you a lollipop was going on. I was out. I was
Yeah,
out on it
yeah.
all day.
I
But
didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I mean, I get it. Sometimes, again, maybe his butthole got tight. He's
yeah,
going to be
he,
on the Super Bowl,
yeah,
150 million people watching. He just picked something out and thought, you
right.
know what, this looks good. And whatever his eyes saw, it let him down. It
That's a
absolutely let him down.
that's a hell of a call up, right? You haven't been relevant in 20 years,
Yeah,
since the
yeah,
Welcome to Atlanta remix. Chris Cross has done jumped out of the charts. You got nothing relevant, right? And they say, "Hey, Jermaine Dupri, you were the producer on some of these tracks. You want to get out of here?" Man, I haven't been on stage. Last time I did, I had a Jerry curl. I'm completely bald now. I'm
yeah.
plus 30 pounds. F it. I'm just going to wear this velvet short suit. I don't know what was going on. Maybe it
Yeah.
was a tribute to Prince. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it could
Oh,
have been, but either way, me and Jermaine Dupri, first of all, we got beef anyway because he was dating Janet for a little bit, and I even though I pushed Janet away, I still don't like the fact that she tried to make me jealous by dating somebody that ugly. So I'm a little upset about
ooh.
it. Yeah, I'm a little upset about all of that anyway. I just me and
Oh,
Jermaine, we got beef. We got beef.
but but he got me. He got me in the comments. He said Twitter was calling him CeeLo on Ozempic, and he got me with that one. He knew that I'd chuckle at that. That was low hanging fruit, but that's hilarious because that's exactly what he looked like to me. Oh, sorry,
Unbelievable.
but he
Unbelievable.
always comes through. And then your girls are in there talking about Luda. So
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with
yeah,
Luda because that's all I'm hearing. Luda. Yeah, if I heard that one more time, I'm gonna spit. I've
absolutely.
heard it absolutely too many times, man.
Right.
Too much.
No, I think that Luda did save the halftime performance from being below average. I thought Luda came out, to me, gave it the energy and the relevance I wanted to see. And maybe I'm just too much of a hip hop and rap fan, I guess. But Luda really brought me back to average.
Yeah,
So
but I guess if that's the case, what were you? I mean, Usher is not a rapper. So if you were looking for a rap show, that's not what he is.
I
He's an
was looking
R&B guy.
I was looking for a collection of hits, and I get it.
Well, you
I
got it.
know that I know that Middle America was really feeling themselves, on the Usher, and he's got a new album coming out. But I needed a little more oomph. I don't know. First,
What?
and maybe I was just going because it was a low scoring first half, and I was looking for something to make me, you know,
I
like
mean,
Halle
he
Berry and Monsters Ball, make me feel good.
I don't know. First of all, if you're looking for, I don't know what you were looking for. He crammed in basically every hit that he had in that 15-minute set that he had. He got it all in. I don't know what else you were looking for.
I, you know what? I guess that too much of his hits are similar, and so getting them all in didn't really. He didn't take me through the ride. It's kind of like I hate to say it. The most comparable person to me for that would be Nelly. If Nelly ever gets on a show, was he hot? Does he have enough hits? Absolutely. Are they all in the same time frame and kind of not similar, but do they all take me to the same genre? Yes.
All right.
So say it's not the same genre, same era. So now Buddy's on here saying he should have got on there and played "Same
Yeah.
Girl," that song he had with R. Kelly, and that
Yeah.
was a banger. But no, he can't
Well,
play
what are
that.
you gonna do? What are you gonna get R. Kelly from the jail cell? Are you gonna
Yeah, I mean,
what is he gonna be on? They're gonna hook him up from the jail cell, let him sing a little bit. First of all, R. Kelly's probably singing where he is right now, but it's not. He's being
yeah.
forced to sing. He's
I
being
tell you
forced
what,
to sing in a certain type of
it,
mic. You know what I'm saying?
anytime, no, pause. Anytime anytime they record somebody over the jail phone, it's always a hit. I don't know what the reverb is, or the plexiglass window, or the fact you only got one take, but it's hot. So I'm in for it. So
No, I'm out. I'm out.
no,
Let's
so
move on, man. Let's move
okay.
on. So
Oh,
the NFL season as a whole, obviously the season has come to an end.
right.
Um, Lamar Jackson wins the MVP.
Okay.
I'll be honest. I'm a Lamar fan, but this was a year that I thought it could have went to somebody besides a quarterback. Like I said, Lamar won it. He didn't have crazy stats. I think he finished like 15th in passing yards and 10th in touchdown passes, something to that nature. I just thought this could have been a year where no quarterback, well, it was a year where no quarterback just stood out, including Patrick Mahomes, and that it could have went to somebody like CMC. I thought it should have.
I agree, and you got some other people in the chat saying CMC should have won it.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that everybody's I guess the resume at the end of the year proves the point, though, right? I was all for giving it to Tyreek early, and then Tua later, and then Lamar, and then CMC. But I think in the end, I think they went with the right guy in Lamar because everybody else eventually got beat by that man. So if you weren't going to give it to that man, you know, give it
Well,
give it to
first of
Lamar.
all, you're going to start losing credibility to the show if you continuously bring up Tua and MVP in the same sentence. Okay,
Man, I'm
you
sorry.
got to
He was
stop.
he was getting it. He was getting
He
it
was
in. But
not getting anything. He was
hey,
he was average at best, throwing to above average players. He stinks, and he was proven to be average with his noodle
okay.
arm.
Hey, we're all entitled to our opinion, and I think that we're going to see he's going to put up amazing stats next year. But back to your point, Lamar was probably the safe call. and it just sucks he couldn't have done more on his MVP year after getting the bag. So
Right. Now, one thing that I will admit that you got right, and I think it was just more you wanted to take the opposite side of what I said.
okay,
Defensive player of the year went
yeah,
to Miles Garrett, a man who literally did nothing the last 7 weeks of the season.
right.
7 weeks of the season, nothing compared to TJ Watt, who only led the league in sacks. Can somebody explain how that happens?
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch every game. I'm going to be honest with you. I just cannot donate my 9 hours on Sunday. But on the games I watch, he made more impact than anybody else. And I asked a buddy of mine who played in the league a while. I said, do guys at that level just know who's better? And it's still the answer is yes. And I think that you could feel he was the most impactful player out there. He is more impactful than TJ. And obviously, the magician Micah Parsons, the
Oh,
disappearing act. So I think they got that one right because when he was out there, he was dominant and he drew a whole bunch of attention. Much like my man Donald from the Rams during his dominant years. So I felt it. I thought it was the right call.
well, here's the difference. Aaron Donald didn't. I mean, you felt his impact because of what he did, because of what his stats said. That's what Aaron Donald did. It wasn't, oh, Aaron Donald's on the field, he's getting all this attention. Oh, he had 8 sacks on the season. No, he had
Right.
20.
Right.
There's the difference. TJ Watt gets attention, 19 sacks, doesn't play the last game of the year because he got hurt. I mean, that's what we're talking about here as far as the difference between the two. Miles Garrett did nothing. Let me repeat that. Miles Garrett did nothing the last 7 weeks, not the last week, not the last 2 weeks, the last 7 weeks of the season. He didn't do anything. And that's the best defensive player in the league. I don't want to hear about the double teams. I don't want to hear that. We get on you get on guys,
Right.
especially offensive guys, for not making plays when they should make plays. Well, damn it, why shouldn't he make plays when he's supposed to make plays? It double teamed or not. I don't want to hear it.
Man,
Go out and make a play for your team.
I don't subscribe to the double teams and the splash plays and the getting somebody else a sack either. But I think there is a healthy balance between a guy who gets the kind of numbers he did get and makes that happen as well while being double teamed. So I mean, I think the TJ Watt argument rings a little more true for you because you're a little bit of a
Oh,
homer.
I'm biased for sure.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But I'm also I just go by what the stats. I go by what I see. I mean,
Okay.
stats are one thing, but I go by what I see. I mean,
Well, I,
the
I
guy
think the
had
eye test.
19. He had 19 sacks. They had the same number of tackles for a loss. I think it was I can't even remember the number of tackles for loss. 4 forced fumbles, an interception, and a touchdown. What else do you want out of a defensive player of the year? If that
I,
is doesn't scream defensive player of the year, what does? A guy
I
that
think.
does nothing the last 7 weeks?
Oh, come on with the nothing.
But he didn't. He did nothing. He did nothing. I think he had a total of 10 tackles in the last 7 weeks. That's
And
nothing.
I think Buddy's right. His D line is much better. So,
Name the
TJ
interior
Watt. So
defensive lineman the Steelers have. You can't name it, and nobody else can without Google. And I'm a
no,
Steelers fan, and neither can I.
but are they better than the Browns?
No, absolutely. The Browns had one of the best defenses in the league. The Steelers did
I
not.
I understand that. I don't think they had a better defensive line. I'm just saying that.
Okay. Okay. Let's. I mean, we can go back and forth, I guess, all day about that. I
So
don't think there was any surprises in the rookie of the year. I mean, CJ Stroud and
no.
Will Anderson, both of those guys should have won offensive defensive rookies of the year. Coach of the year, I got a problem with, Chris. Coach
Okay.
of the year, I got a big problem with. Look,
Okay.
Stefanski for the Browns. I get it. He was dealing with massage man TJ
Right.
or of Watson
Right.
as the quarterback, Deshaun Watson. I understand that, and he was working with Flacco. And by the
Right.
time he was done, this fourth quarterback,
He
Demeco
went in.
Ryan had a horrible roster. The Texans have a
Oh,
bad roster.
they
Bad.
they they did, but they had the best position in football really, really show up. So do you want that guy who makes you a great dish, but while he had a great cut of filet sitting in the fridge, okay, he may not be a great chef. He had a great cut of filet versus the guy that went in there, had some spoiled meat, maybe a bad egg, and whipped out a great meatloaf. And that's what happened in Cleveland. He made meatloaf out of absolutely nothing. He
And
got
what did they do in Texas? What did they do in Houston?
again,
What are you
again
talking about?
in a league built around the quarterback. CJ Stroud showed out. So you gotta say he rode a little bit of that wave. If Cleveland has a quarterback that plays like that, don't give him coach of the year either. And hell, they would have won the Super Bowl. And you know it with that defense and any quarterback playing. So I just don't think he did anything with it. I'm
Well,
not gonna
their defense was good, but I mean, it's the same guys. I mean, it's not like that they had this great roster. The coaching mattered. Let's not kid ourselves, and not to
okay.
mention player for player, Cleveland's got a much better roster than what the Texans do.
I'm
Much
sorry.
better.
I won my fantasy football league this year against some savvy veterans riding Nico Collins. There, tell me somebody in Cleveland produced like that. So
Amari
CJ
Cooper,
Stroud, he didn't though.
he did actually. He had the
Well,
best year of
maybe.
his career.
Oh, stop it,
Well,
Brian.
if you just go by catches, yards, and touchdowns, it was the best year of his career. Now,
No.
anything else that you want to go by, fine, we can go by that.
those
But if you
weren't
go for a
impact.
wide
Those weren't
receiver,
impactful catches.
no,
Empty
if you go
stats. They
for
were
a wide
behind.
receiver and you go based on catches, yards, and touchdowns, that was the best year of his career. But I'll let you
Wait.
continue.
Yeah. Well, first of all, empty stats because they were probably playing
Here we
catch up.
go.
But wait a minute. So we got somebody saying Tomlin made meatloaf out of absolutely nothing again. Well, we just talked about he should have had. You can't have it both ways, David Gonzalez. Either he has your eyes the defensive player of the year, and then in my son's eyes a great defensive line, and he still made nothing out of it. No,
Well, who
either
was his
way, either
quarterback? We had Baby Hands Pickett as the quarterback for 3/4 of the season.
and
Mitchell Trubisky, who won't even be in the league next year, shouldn't have been in the league this year. He's
yeah,
starting games, and Mason Rudolph. That's who our quarterbacks were.
I,
So to be able to make the playoffs, how they even won 10 games, which I
yeah,
think you still owe me money on, but we'll let
right.
that slide. They
That's
won
different.
10 games with that as your quarterback?
Look,
Come on.
if you put all three of those guys together, their ages don't add up to Joe Flacco. Okay, Joe Flacco is 67 years old,
And
and
he's still better than all three of them
and hadn't
combined.
played a meaningful game in 5 years. So
And he's
stop it.
still better than all three of them behind.
Look,
Again, we got a guy that has baby hands that was our
right.
quarterback. That's all I'm saying. Tomlin had
And
a better case than Stefanski.
Mr. Tucker, thank you for pointing out that the Texans play in a trash division as well. Thank you.
Well, they were
We
also
got
a trash team until this year. So I mean, what do you expect? I mean, they were a trash team until
we,
this year.
we got some people that know their game out there, Brian. They're coming to my defense. I appreciate it.
Well, there's some people also don't know. I mean, but that is what it is. That
But
is what it is. I
okay,
think at that level, I mean, you're grasping at straws. I mean, obviously both did well, but I
right.
think we're grasping at straws to find out who the best is. I just think if you take a team that there isn't a person on earth that thought the Texans were going to be any good this year. Not
No,
a
I
person
agree.
on
But
earth
nobody thought they were going to have
believed
the
that.
third best quarterback in the league this year either.
Well,
That really
but
helps.
either way, there isn't a person on earth that thought they were going to be any good. And for them to not only be good to win the division and win a playoff game, that guy has got to be coach of the year, in my opinion,
Sure.
versus the guy who everybody thought Cleveland was going to be good. Everybody looked at their roster and said, oh, yeah, Cleveland may win the division. And if
Until
they
their
didn't
roster
have Massage Man Watson as their quarterback and they had Flacco for most of the year, they probably would have won the
can
division.
can we not forget that their all-star roster, their two on paper best players weren't playing most of the year, right? And I agree with Buddy on this one. If you're going to talk about anyone else, Detroit, even though he made some mistakes in the
Everybody thought
playoffs,
Detroit was going to be good.
yeah,
Everybody. Nobody thought they were going to
no,
be bad.
yeah,
Everybody
no.
thought they were going to be good and win that division.
And I
Everyone.
want to see where everybody was riding the Detroit wave, before then, the Jared Goff wave before then.
I'm
I
not
don't
saying
think
they were
so.
saying he was going to be great, but everybody, I mean, first of all, we talked about trash divisions. That was a trash division. And
Agreed.
everybody thought that Detroit was going to win that
I,
division and
I
be
can name
good.
five
Everybody
players on the
thought that.
Detroit team that I didn't think were going to be as good as they played this year, and that usually means it's the coach. On the
I
Texans,
don't know.
on
They
the
had the
Texans,
best
I can
line in
name
football,
one.
though. Detroit had the best line in football,
And
and it
as
wasn't
you know,
close.
none of those five guys are the five guys I would have named. So
Well,
there are
I
five
mean,
guys.
then you just got to pay more attention. I mean, but
Uh,
they had the best. They had the best right tackle in football. I mean, Penei
can we
Sewell is literally the best right tackle in football.
can we put that meatloaf comment back up? Because think about meatloaf is you guys have all had meatloaf at somebody's house. that wasn't that good. Not all meatloaf is created equal. Some people use a lot more breadcrumbs. Some people use 80/20, 70/30 meat.
No.
They were making better meatloaf in Cleveland.
I think they made better meatloaf. I think they made better ribs in Houston, and he should have won. But neither here nor there. It is what it is.
That was a
And then
one star. Yeah, go ahead.
comeback player of the year, and last thing on this topic is
Hmm.
comeback player of the year again was Flacco. Who did he play for?
I mean, hey,
No, no, no,
cooking.
no.
It's cooking.
There
And,
you go. Flat.
and
First
it
of
was.
all, I didn't think that. What did he play? Like 6 games, 5 games?
I don't even think
I didn't
that
think
many. I think
good
five. I think he
lord.
played five. But
Yeah.
the comeback, I mean, you can talk comeback from catastrophic injury, personal problems, but this is a comeback from just old age. Joe Flacco was off into the sunset and
Yeah, he
rode
was.
back. You know,
Yeah, he
he
was.
got a solid tan on his back riding back from the sunset, into the huddle. I mean, the guy
Yeah.
is my age, got more salt and pepper in his beard than I do.
I
So,
thought it should have been Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was left for the scrap heap by three different franchises and came back and led his team to not only a division title, a playoff win. I just think, and he played well. He played well.
yeah, I
I
can't
just
do it.
thought it should have been Baker Mayfield.
I'm just not the right guy to comment on Baker Mayfield. He broke my heart too many times in Cleveland. He's a nut job. He's a head case. I can't go Baker. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Also, what is he coming back from? You can't come back from self-imposed stupid decisions. You can come back from injury, personal tragedy, old age. You can't say I'm coming back. I'm not going to throw any picks anymore. And that's not a comeback player.
well, he
You
got
were the one
thrown to
out
the
there.
scrap heap from three different teams. And one, he had
Man,
led to the playoff the year before, played with a broken shoulder. The Browns just said, we'd rather go with
yeah,
Massage Watson. We'd
yeah.
rather go with
And
Massage Watson.
And anytime we have extra time on this, Massage Watson is guilty of the greatest heist in NFL history.
Oh my
And I fell
God.
for it too. I fell for
Jiminy
it. I thought,
Christmas. I mean, that's obviously that's another topic for another time. But you talk about a guy who just said he first of all he forgot how to play football, but just stealing money, just
right.
stealing money, unbelievable.
Yeah,
So,
no.
all right, well, let's wrap the show up with
What we
this,
got?
people. Now, I find this last topic to be kind of near and dear to my heart. I enjoy Valentine's Day. I
Okay.
think Valentine's Day is a good, fun holiday that everybody can get into. I don't,
Okay.
but here's the thing. I don't think. And first of all, my wife is watching live. People, she's watching live. But
Right.
I don't think you need a special day, CC, to throw out the love to your significant other. I don't think you need a special day. But a lot of people feel like you do. They go overboard. I think going overboard is tacky. I like the holiday. I like getting
Okay.
stuff for my wife. She likes flowers. That makes it easy. So you're not having to dig around and do all that
Right.
stuff. She makes it very, very easy for me. But I like the holiday. But do you like Valentine's Day?
I mean, I'm glad I got an opportunity to hear. Absolutely not. I think it's one of the worst holidays there is. And let me tell you my history of Valentine's Day. Okay. First of all, come on. Okay, you pick one day out of the year and it's I love you. Most of the people who are even watching right now know that I end every phone call with love you. There's not a limit on love. There's not a day for love, but let's talk about that special romantic love. Valentine's Day is this Hallmark holiday put there so you can go buy some flowers that are overpriced and go ahead and park out on the grass at Red Lobster because it's jam packed full of people that hate each other 364 days a year. I mean, if there was a holiday or even people who celebrated a holiday that were worthy of a fraud alert, it is Valentine's Day. You know that complete fraud. Hear me out, guys, fellas. Here's my Valentine's Day advice. Whatever you were gonna do it on a completely other day. See how much more that gets you. I'm not saying you only do it to get something
Uh-uh.
back. But I'm saying if you were to buy flowers, take her out to eat, buy her some jewelry, pull out the massage oils and get the thumbs working, you know,
Getting that
if you
Riz
were
game going.
if
Okay.
you were to do that on a Tuesday, right? It's going to go way further. And also it's coming from your heart. You're not being pressured to do it, you know?
Hmm.
That's what I think that's the part I don't like about it. If somebody tells you else when to celebrate your love, not your anniversary, not your birthday, not the day you guys met each other, not the day this anything. It's freaking February 14th, St. Valentine's, you
Uh-huh.
know?
Huh.
So,
I
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know. I like the day. Like I said, it's a day. It's just an extra day to show love. It's just a day to show some love, show
there's
some affection. I don't think that there has to be only one day. I don't think
Curtis is wilding. I'm sorry, Brian.
that's my man Curtis.
Curtis is wild. He said the holiday when you find out if you're the main dish or the side piece. And here, let me tell you, Curtis, where I think that the holiday has so much weight is there's a lot of people out there that are thinking about that, right? There's a lot of pressure coming, and so they're trying to figure that out. That's because they're living that holiday for other people. You get your wife all dressed up or your girlfriend all dressed up. You go to Red Lobster, and I keep using that example because that was the last time I wanted to do so. I was a kid, and Red Lobster was about the nicest restaurant we could afford to go to. So me and my wife would go to Red Lobster. We wait an hour and a half. There's a lot of people in there with
Red
top
Lobster.
hat. Yeah, don't worry about it. We were young. It was a lot of top hats, canes, pimp suits, temporary tags in the
Yes,
parking lot,
yes,
and I'm
yes.
like, wow, you know. So and Curtis is still going. The cheddar biscuits are fire. But man, look, look, pick a regular day. Come through with the same energy. Take a Tuesday and take the day off. Go to the zoo and hold hands. Ride a roller coaster like you used to. Go through the scrapbook. And man, I bet that's a good day.
No, no, no.
That's a
There,
heartfelt
there
day.
is no doubt that that is not a good day. There is no doubt that doing
Right.
it just any other time, they will love and appreciate it. But I'm telling you, if any of you out there that have significant others that work, that have a job, or talk to friends, which
Right.
I would assume most of them do, what are they going to be talking about? What are they going to be at the water cooler?
Right.
Hey, what did so and so get you for Valentine's Day? They
Send
don't
send
ask
them.
you what you got on a Tuesday.
Right.
They ask you what you got on Valentine's Day. And what
Okay.
you're
I'm
basically saying is to your significant other, she's got to go to the water cooler and lie because you aren't getting her nothing.
Challenge accepted. Somebody who's watching right now, send their wife, their significant other, some flowers or something on a regular day, and see if they're not the talk of the town. Because everybody in their ear hustling and cubicle peeking on Valentine's Day, they're just messy. Do it on a like I said, do it on a Tuesday. Do it on the third Tuesday in March. Oh, flowers from who? From a husband. For what? He just sent them. Everybody's melting. I'm telling
Well,
you, you got to get a mop and a bucket.
first of all, everybody I think my mom's in here, so that's awkward. But everybody is is sending flowers on an opposite day. I'm not denying that, Chris,
Okay.
that you send that you do things all the time. But what I'm saying is don't leave Valentine's Day out and say, "Hey, I send flowers all the time. I don't need to do nothing on this day." Because I'm
Right.
telling you right now, you're forcing your significant other to lie at the water cooler because you don't get them nothing, and then say,
Right.
"I don't need a day to show my affection. Valentine's Day is just another day to me." When everybody else is getting something, whether they're the mistress, side
Right.
piece, wife of 30 years, they want something on Valentine's Day. That's all
Okay.
I'm saying. I
Okay.
I agree with you. I think you're 100% right. Hey, we've been married a long time, both of us. And
Right.
I do it differently. I give my wife stuff all the time. But the bottom line is on Valentine's Day. I don't want her to have to go to the water cooler and lie
Okay.
and say, "Hey, Brian got me this," when I could have just taken the time and said, "You know what? Let me send some quick flowers." And again, my wife makes it easy because she likes flowers. So that's very easy for me. I can get flowers and she loves it. Some
Uh,
people is like, "Hey, I need a house." So you know
right.
what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, hey,
Different strokes for different
hey,
folks.
you just booked a vacation. You're going to the DR in summer. Happy Valentine's Day. April says she got a lot of random bouquets from the Black Kool-Aid man.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
we got David Gonzalez actually not proving my point. He got regular flowers being delivered or flowers delivered once a month on auto draft. That's the opposite of romantic too. Like David, bro, the whole point I'm trying to say is love somebody when you love somebody. Tell them how you really feel, not because of holiday or because you got it on a reminder. You got it on Calendarly. That's a calendar app. I'm sorry, but you got it on an app to remind you. I mean, guaranteed smooching every time. She doesn't realize that on the second Tuesday she's getting flowers, the same bouquet every time.
Let me just ask this question, and we'll wrap it up. Do
Okay.
you send those things on just an anytime, regular basis?
You know what? I display my romanticism
So
in my very specific style.
let's just say no. That would be the easy answer to that. Let's just say no. And on that note, people, we are going to wrap up another instant replay, man. We appreciate everybody being here and joining us. We, like I said, we're trying to grow. You guys are helping us every single week. Like I said, we are here on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central Time. Do us all a favor. Like, subscribe to Big B Sports Talk, but more importantly, tell a friend. Come show up next week. We are going to have a bunch more for you. Football's over, but the laughs and sports, we're just getting started, people. We love you guys. Thank you all. Aloha. We will see you next week.